Well, g'day, curd nerds. G'day, curd nerds. Well, 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 g'day, curd nerds. Oh, looks like I've got a technical difficulty. Oh. Looks like there's something going on with the camera. Hang on. Oh, there we are. That's working again. Finally. Sorry about that. Bit of a technical difficulty, but yeah, all good now. Hopefully everybody can see me and it's all working. That's a bit of a strange shot. I'm just looking at the replay. Very crazy. Anyway, lovely to see you all on the live stream. Ask the Cheeseman. This is episode 99. Very excited about episode 99. I'm even more excited about episode 100, which will happen next week. Very excited about that. So, usual housekeeping. First of all, shout outs to new members, YouTube members and patrons. So this week we've got a new YouTube member, Stefan Rusick. Thank you, Stefan, for your membership and your kind donation month on month. And for Patreon, Kenneth McLean. Thank you, Kenneth, for your kind donation. I really do appreciate it, mate. Okay. For those of you who don't know that a lot of people do support the show financially, and you can see them in the chat. If they're YouTube members, they're usually, the names are in a different color and they've got a little cheesy icon next to them. They're actually supporting the show. So a round of applause. Thank you very much for all those people who support the show, Kim and I, financially. Keep this going. Okay, this week we have a cheese tutorial going up, and it's Shabrints. Oh, and there's the first donation. Thank you, Nicola. And Nicola's donated via Streamlabs. Talk about that a little bit in a minute. Really do appreciate it. Thank you, Nicola. What was I talking about? Yes, Shabrints is going to be released on Friday my time, normal. It's a Swiss cheese. It's a very hard Swiss cheese, similar to Parmesan, so they say on Wikipedia. Never tried it, so it should be very nice, but we'll see what happens. And then the other 3 videos that are in post-production at the moment. I've got Wensleydale with cranberries. We've got stout cheddar made with Guinness. Should be very nice. And mead, which is not a cheese video, but it's a brewing video. I actually put it out there the other day on my community page on YouTube and asked whether people would be interested in just something different. So I had a whole bunch of honey in the cupboard that had been donated to me by friends and family. And I decided to make some mead because I had all the brewing equipment anyway. Glass demijohn, airlock, bung, all that sort of stuff. And getting the ingredients together was fairly simple. So, yeah, you'll see a mead video coming up in about a month and a half's time. I'm going to do it all the way, not like the cheese videos where I just do the making of and how to affinage it. With the mead video, I thought it'd be a lot easier if I went all the way through the process, including racking out of the demijohn into bottles and then a taste test during the video. I think it'll be a lot better. Anyway, so that'll be pretty good. Okay, and don't forget during the show, Super Chat is always available if you want to throw some dollars our way. There's a little, it's not here. It's in the chat window. There's a little dollar sign down the bottom. And if Super Chat's not available in your region, you can do exactly what Nicola did. Just in the description below the video, there's a little link to my Streamlabs donation, and it goes via PayPal. Streamlabs.com/Gavin Weber. And you'll go to a donation box and you can donate via PayPal and you get a little gold star as well. It's pretty cool. Okay. And one thing that I mentioned, there's a supporter of the show, Monique Henderson. She's also a lovely customer that buys stuff from our shop and is very active on the cheese forums, especially the Australian one, Curds and Whey Down Under, which is, I'll just show you. So this one here, Curds and Whey Down Under, very cool. It's an Aussie, not an Aussie only, it's just an Australian-based cheese making forum on Facebook. Anyway, Monique mentioned that because we don't have the chat box over here anymore because of all the inappropriate comments that I couldn't stop, you can't see the links anymore. However, on YouTube, if you watch this as an archive, you can see the chat box. There is the live chat replay, so all the links will appear and they're clickable and all that sort of stuff. So I just checked on an old archive and it worked really well. So yeah, so that's how you can see the links that Kim will put up during the show as we chat. So yeah, very cool. Okay, now let's do some shout outs. Say g'day to a whole bunch of people. G'day to Ruth. First, as always, at 7:12 a.m. this morning. G'day, Nicola. And Nicola is a patron. Thank you, Nicola. We got Patricia, who's a member. Thanks, Patricia. We got Larry, Deep South Texas. G'day, Larry. Paul Lark from Trinidad. That's a long way away. Bruce, Colin, Carlos. It's his first stream. I'll be gentle on you, Carlos. Ashley, Phyllis, Cora, where else? Darren, Kevin, Clarissa, Milos, Alex, Lice Dog. I think that's how you say it. Yeah. Craig, g'day, Craig. And Trevor, and we'll stop there. But there's probably lots of other people that aren't in the super chat. They're just watching the show, which is very cool. Okay, let's get on to the first question of the week. Let's have a look. I think I've already touched on this one. Nicola said, do Streamlabs donations trigger an alert during the stream? Well, you would have already seen that if Nicola did one, which was cool. He got a little gold star and left a message, which I can't see because the screen I'm looking at is so tiny. I couldn't read what he wrote, but sorry about that, Nicola. But I will check that out after the show. Okay, Patricia from Halifax. Thanks, Patricia. And Patricia's a member. Very cool. Nicola says, hello, everybody. These streams are not Europe friendly. After all, it's after midnight for me. Sorry, Nicola. It's because we're in winter and we stopped daylight savings and you went to daylight savings and just chaos. All right. Cool. Where are we? Carlos says, hi, guys. My name is Carlos Gatsia. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is my first time. I live in Florida. I love cheese as much as everybody else here. Of course you do. You wouldn't be here, Carlos. Very cool. Ashley says, I'm about to start making dinner. Nice. Well, I haven't had my breakfast yet, but we'll get there. Darren says, first time watching live. Love your videos. Thank you, Darren. Appreciate it, mate. And not exactly 100, exactly, Kevin. All but the penultimate episode. It's a bit like Game of Thrones, isn't it? So you got one more episode to go. But we'll keep going after 100. It's not the end of the world. Milos has a real question. Here we go. Hi, Gavin. I made cheddar and put it in beeswax. However, it seems to keep growing inside and cracking. And it was cracking. Sorry. Eyes aren't working. Growing inside and it cracked the was shell. Any suggestions? Shall I keep maturing it? The cheddar shouldn't expand at all, really. And the beeswax is a bit problematic. It doesn't expand very well when it's cool, unlike microcrystalline wax, which does expand very well. Beeswax tends not to. It tends to kind of crack when it's cold. Maybe a bit of an issue. Look, I would actually cut it open, because if it's growing, there may be a coliform contamination, which is a back. Oh, doggies, calm down. It's all right. May maybe a infection. Holly, shush. Shush, shush, shush. It's okay. Everybody, it's okay. All right? No, don't panic. All right, yeah, so it may be infected. So I would, if you didn't add any Propionic Shamani, I would cut it open and check if it's got, if it looks like a sponge. So if it's got tiny little holes and it looks like a sponge, it's infected. I would throw it away. If it doesn't have tiny little holes and just has big holes and maybe cracks, then that's known. Well, it's too early to be late blown. So yeah, I think it's probably infected. But check it out, cut it open, have a look. If it's okay, then simply vac pack or wax the two halves, and then mature as normal. Maybe you want to get yourself some microcrystalline cheese wax. That would help, and it expands a little bit better. Doesn't expand as well as I hope sometimes when I make, say, Jarlsberg or Leerdama or Emmental. It still does split if it gets really excited inside and there's lots of CO2 production with the Propionic Shamani, but at least it protects the cheese and it doesn't crack, if that makes sense. Okay. Alex says, g'day, Gavin and Kim. Well, g'day. I haven't seen... Oh, there's Kim. I didn't see her. Thank you, Kim, for being the moderator, as always. I really do appreciate it. Lice Dog says, hi, Gavin, from Christchurch, New Zealand. Welcome, Lice Dog. Can you try to make French cheese chartreuse? I've tried it here and would love to reproduce it. I'm just writing it down on the list that keeps growing. Very cool, but I'll give it a go if I can find a recipe for it. Kevin says, Chabrince is delicious, Gavin. Century, it was possibly to take good into war. Yeah, it's really, really hard cheese. Travels well. It was actually, they think, it dates back to 70, well, there's records of it, 70 BC, or before Christian era. And, yeah, it was made by the then Celts that roamed Switzerland and made cheese. So very simple cheese to make, but apparently pretty delicious. But you'll see that video this week. Okay. Very cool. I've lost my place, as always. Craig says, good morning, Gavin and Kim. Great to be on the chat. I made your Shropshire Blue last week, and wow, it certainly put me to the test. I would up having to press it. I end up having to press it for a while to get it to form. Yeah, it's same here, Craig. I saw that on Facebook. Very impressive. It looked a lot more stable than what mine did. So kudos to you, mate. Well done. Jordan says, G'day, Jordan. Alex, how do cheeses end up being different when the recipes sometimes call for just about the same cultures, if not exactly the same? Yeah, see, that's the cheesemaker's conundrum. It has to do with temperature, time, so that could be ripening time, renneting time, how soft or hard your curd is, how hard you press it, how much salt you add to it, how much starter culture you add to it, and how long you stir it, how small the curds are. There are so many variables. It's not just the starter culture. as a variable. You think of all those other things that are variables within cheese making, and that's why some recipes have the same ingredients, exactly the same starter cultures, and they are totally different cheeses. So, yeah, time, pressure, stirring, all that sort of stuff have are factors in why cheeses all taste different. Anyway, cool question, Alex. Thanks. Trevor says, made my first cheese last week, queso fresco. Turned out great. Thanks for your help and expertise. You're welcome, Trevor. Appreciate it, mate. Kevin says, cool, Trevor. Nicola's answering questions. Very cool. Graham, g'day. How are you? Danielle, hi, Gavin. Recently found your channel. Love it so much. I've decided to become a patron. Thank you, Danielle. Appreciate it. Really do. And you'll probably get a shout out next week on the list of stuff when I do the shout outs at the start of the show during the 100th episode. Very nice. Okay. Milos says, one more question, Gavin. I made Gouda, but it created holes inside. Any suggestions? I know Gouda shouldn't have big holes. Yeah, look, this sometimes happens with brined cheeses. Gouda, Emmental, not Emmental. Emmental's supposed to have holes. Edam, Gouda, in my experience, Havarti sometimes too. There is, let me just find it. I had a chitty chat about it the other day on the cheese, Learn to Make Cheese Facebook forum. And I talked about, oh goodness me, where is it? So much stuff on this forum. I cannot find it. Maybe I can. Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. Cool. Where's the cheese with the crack? Oh, there it is. Here it is. Okay, so my recommendation for Gouda that does that is get yourself some lysozyme. Oh, we got a super chat. Sorry to interrupt. I'll just kill the curd nerd lamp. And there's your gold star. Thank you, Ruth. I thought you were not here. So just to answer the last question, I'll just finish that one off. Lysozyme, which is an enzyme which breaks down the cell walls of coliform and stops it from late blowing and getting cracks and fissures and holes and all that sort of stuff. It's actually marketed as Lysolac and Affiliact or Affiliact. So Lysolac, Lysolac. You should be able to get some on Amazon. It prevents those sort of cheeses from creating cracks and fissures and all that sort of stuff. It's pretty good stuff. I don't have any because I can't get any in Australia at the moment. I'm trying to source some from overseas. Hopefully it'll get through quarantine. Anyway, so on to Ruth's question. $10 super chat. Thank you, Ruth. Really do appreciate not only your YouTube membership but all your support. She says, hello everyone. Local creamery makes a lovely dessert cheese with fresh cow's milk cheese stuffed with, what the heck is that? Cayeta, yeah, which is goat's milk caramel. Very cool. What would you suggest for the fresh cheese? Thanks. You could make, oh no, that'd be hard. I think it'd be a pasta filata cheese, so a bit like burrata. You could make the mozzarella, and you could put a dollop of the goat's milk caramel into that, and then seal it up, just like a burrata, which has fresh cream and a little bit of cream cheese, I think, in there as well. That'd be what I would do. I'm yet to make burrata. I really should. I'm going to have to get my hands on some buffalo milk. I don't know where, but I will get some. But thanks, Ruth, for your super chat, hopefully. And anybody else who's got any suggestions, that would be very cool. Okay, back to the other questions. Thank you, Ruth. Appreciate it. Where are we? Oh, right. Yeah, so Milos. Hopefully I've finished that one. Kevin said, made cheddar this past week and I've just cloth banded it with vegetable shortening. Is this okay? Should be. Lard has a tendency, which is traditionally used, tendency to be an antibacterial as well, and prevents a bit of mold growth. Still lets a bit happen, but underneath the cloth there are no molds. But if you use vegetable shortening, it should work as well. Just make sure that when you inspect the cheese weekly, Kevin, that you check it for soft spots. If you start getting soft spots, rip the cloth off, vacuum pack it, because otherwise it'll just get infected and the whole cheese will be soft. And you don't want that. Cheddar's not a soft cheese. Okay. Mike is saying, happily watching After Midnight in Germany. Oh, very good. Thank you very much, Mike. Shadow the Wolf says, I don't eat too much cheese, but I find the process fascinating. In brackets, I do eat a fair amount, though. Yes, that's everything in moderation. Everything in moderation, Shadow. Nicola says, my 2 Gouders have holes in it too. I was thinking, answered a few screams back, don't use tap water without filtering. Exactly. That is another factor, that the chlorine in the tap water when you wash the curds is another factor. I forgot about that one. Thank you, Nicola. Jason, hi. Hi, everybody. CGH, hey, Gavin, huge fan. I was hoping to try making a couple of goat's cheeses, but I don't have access to non-UHT goat's milk. I found online that most of the goaty flavour come from the lipids in goat's milk, mostly caprylic and capric acids, indeed. And I was able to find powdered goat's cream online, a bit over half lipid. Do you think it'll work to combine this with cow's milk? Lipase and get something close to goat's milk flavour. Yes, sparingly. I would add that goat's cream sparingly. It may also be ultra pasteurized, and that may be a bit an issue because that'll stop curd set. And definitely add lipase as well. I think it's about between a 32nd and a 16th of a teaspoon per 10 litres of milk. That'll give you the flavour that you're after. Kevin says, Gavin, for the question for the expanding cheddar also could be wild propionic bacteria. It could be indeed, Kevin. Good suggestion. Marco, hello, how are you? Igor says, what do you think about diluting cheese culture in water and then using as a solution in cheese making? I've been doing for having more precise measure, but I'd like to know your opinion. Thank you for all. Well, the direct VAT, it's Holly in the chair. The direct VAT inoculated or DVI freeze-dried powders, the powdered, Holly's throwing me off my game. Right, the direct VAT inoculated cheese cultures are just that. You add them directly to the milk. That's what they're designed to do. Mother cultures are different. I think that may be what you're describing, Igor, where you actually you can grow DVI culture in milk, let it curdle slightly, and then freeze it in ice cubes, and then it's actually milk cubes, not ice cubes, and then you throw it into your milk when it's heating up, and it grows and multiplies that way. That's a couple of ways of doing it. It's not very precise because you don't know the bacterial count when you're using direct VAT inoculated and using the dosage amounts on the packet as suggested by the manufacturer. Then you're doing the right thing. You're getting the right bacterial count for your cheese development. So there's a couple of things to think about. Shadow the Wolf says, is it possible to make goat's cheese that doesn't taste goaty? She wants to eat goat. My mum wants to eat goat cheese, but she can't handle the goat flavour. It's part of the cheese. You can't change the goat flavour. That's why you use goat's milk to make the flavour. Unfortunately, no, you can't. Sorry about that. Right. Jordan says, I made a sample batch of the Borson. I ended up overheating the milk, and while it was setting the curd, I left it on the steam pot. In the end, it turned out okay, but very, very moist and didn't hold its shape. The instructions were quite specific. So, yeah, if you kind of deviated, it would hold a little bit moisture. I think next time when I make Borson, I'm going to really press the heck out of the cheese, or squeeze it anyway, squeeze the heck out of the curds to get them to dry out a lot better. Add less cream, and when I do stir in the curds to the cream that I've whipped, I'll only fold it in. I won't vigorously whip it up because that'll kind of take the oomph out of the cream, if that makes sense. Christian says, hi Gavin, I recently tried making your gouda, went to check on it after a few months and it started to crack. Suddenly a rat burst out of the cheese. Any advice on preventing rat infiltration? Yeah, close the cheese fridge door. That's what I would do. Cool. Nicola, so my question, in case you missed it, was, why don't you use the flocculation method in your videos? So those of you who are new to cheese making, the flocculation method is whereby you check when the milk sets, so that you can put a little plastic tub on top of the milk and you can spin it. And what that does is you can tell when it stops spinning, that's the flocculation point, which means that's when the casein nacelles in the cheese, in the milk, are starting to be affected by the rennet, or the chymosin and pepsin within the rennet. And then you do a multiplier, so you can multiply that time it took to hit flocculation by 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on the type of cheese you make. And then you'll get the right strength curd for that type of cheese. Now, over on Little Green Cheese, I do have a thing about flocculation. Let me just see if I can pull it up for you. Yes, I do. Let me go to my desktop. So here on Little Green Cheese, I've got a whole article. All you do is search for flock in the little search bar here. And so there's a whole thing, and there's a little YouTube video that talks about flocculation, how it works. It's not my YouTube video, it's somebody else's. But it tells you exactly what happens. And then down here, I've got the multiplier table from the Cheese Forum, and it tells you the multiplier you multiply the flocculation time by to get the right curd set. And you can actually see why I vary the lengths of the, let's go back to the main screen, why I vary the lengths of curd set for different cheeses. So things like Camemberts and Bries have an hour and a half curd set, compared to, say, something like Alpine cheeses, Parmesan, Romano, that sort of stuff, which has a low flocculation factor. So that's flocculation in a nutshell. I'll pop the link into the chat so everybody can see. Let's have a look. Here we go. If that works. Nope, that's not working. Come on, Gavin. What's going on? It's all happening. Sorry. Be good if I actually pressed the right keys on my keyboard. There we go. So there's flocculation, and you can see that in the chat. If you want to go and check that out, you can go and check it out. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so why don't I use it was the question, is because I feel that I don't need to. the recipes are fairly well tested, so I don't have any issues with curd set, but maybe I should. I don't know. Okay, next question. Where are we? Now I've got to find where the flocculation question was. Okay. Kevin says, any update on book number 2? No, slowly but surely it's getting there. I'll finish it before I die, I'm sure. Silly thing to say, but it takes forever to write a book. Especially when I'm focused on so many other things. I really need to set aside time to do that, I think. Anyway, Steve says, G'day. Last couple of batches came out dry, acidic, and released whey when aging. Rennet is okay. Problem with heating and stirring. I don't have good luck raising the temperature over stirred. Yeah, I think too much whey is getting trapped in your curd. And if you heat it too fast, so if there's a step in the recipe that goes from, say, the first target temperature and then elevates the temperature over, say, an hour or something, you really do need to go very slowly in heating the temperature. So at the end of that hour, that's when the temperature should have been reached. Really do have to juggle it. I adjust the temperature on and off as I need to. I'll set it on the lowest heat, and I find that at the lowest heat of my double boiler makes the milk slowly heat. So I think it's about 2 degrees Fahrenheit, 1 degree Celsius every 5 minutes, usually. It depends on how high you have to heat it. Otherwise, if you cook it too fast, what happens is the curd gets a rind. Each curd cube gets a rind, traps in the whey. So after you've pressed it and after you've packed it or what have you, or even waxed it, whey seeps out, and that's the issue there, Steve. If you overstir, not so bad, but if you've heated up too quickly to start with, then that's the issue. Overstirring just makes a drier cheese. You mentioned it came out dry. If it's sour and acidic, not enough salt could be an issue as well. So check your salt. Usually for most hard cheeses, semi-hard cheeses, it's 2% salt per weight. So you may want to weigh the curds before you salt it. So just check that as well. I find that with a 10-litre recipe, usually 2 tablespoons of salt is sufficient, is 2%. Okay, so I hope that helps, Steve. Marcos says, any tips when making mozzarella? Yes, don't make quick mozzarella as your first cheese. It'll only end in disappointment and tears because you won't understand the process. I think make a few cheeses beforehand with rennet. I would jump straight to traditional mozzarella or cow's milk mozzarella if that's all you can get your hands on. It's actually easier and probably have a better success rate than what you would with quick mozzarella. It's the acid level in the curds that cause all the issues and cause the cheese not to stretch properly. Varying strengths of citric acid, I think, is a lot of people's problems. So you really do need to test the curd to make sure it's acidic enough, or test the milk, and it has to be between a pH of 5.3 and 5 before your mozzarella will actually stretch. So always check the pH level when you're making pasta filata cheeses, which stretch curds. Okay, it's 9:04. I'm still like 20 minutes behind on the questions, but anyway, I'll keep going. Alex says, what happens if you put too much culture in cheese? Rarely does it make a difference, Alex. The cheese, there's only so much lactose in the milk that the culture can eat. Rarely does it really make too many problems. Underculturing is worse than overculturing. Underculturing, you won't get the acid development that you require for your cheese, and it may go rancid during affinage or maturing. So that's a bit of a problem. Stav Stalker says, hello, will you make feta or kasiri? I haven't made kasiri, but I have made feta, and I think Kim has put the link, and she has. Thank you very much, Kim, to the Real Greek Feta. So check that link out. John Shepherd says he has a video on feta. Actually, I got three videos on feta, actually, if you want to check those out. Ben says, hi Gav, long-term viewer, first-time patron, love the vids, and love to pick your brains. Yeah, definitely. Jump in, Ben. Everybody else is, which is very cool. Where I'm up to. Okay. Ruth says, oh, here's a contentious question. Sorry. Ruth says, where are we? Where did it go? Next week is Kim's special appearance. Looking forward to that. What are you going to wear, Kim? Kim, I hope you won't hide in the background like Holly. I'm collecting tips and tricks for cleaning cheesecloth. Very cool. What's Kim said? Let's have a look. Oh, lol, Ruth. It will be a quickie. Yeah, it's just a pop in, pop out. Apparently, that's what Kim's telling me. I don't think there'll be a sit down. Oh, one of my lights went off. I'm in the dark. That's not good. One of my batteries on my lamps is gone. Hang on, let me just see if I can turn on the one behind me. Sorry about this. There we go. A little bit more light. Look at that. See, it's all automated. Very cool. Got an app that does it all. No, you can't see it. It's too light. Just crazy technology. Anyway, sorry about that. Half my face. This half. It's all dark. No big deal. Anyway, back to the thing. Ben says, have you used the enzyme transglutaminase instead of rennet? No, that's mainly for vegan cheeses, Ben. I haven't used it in place of rennet for milk, so don't quite know how that works. Patricia says, I noticed your last couple of cheese videos featured homogenized milk. Any reasons you switch milk? Yes, bad planning was the reason, Patricia. And in fact, this week is pasteurized homogenized milk as well. So, bit of a disappointment. Cheese worked out well, though. Shabrints, so you can check that out. Yeah, bad planning on my part. So normally on the Monday before the weekend that I make cheese, I ring up my good friend Troy over at Inglenook Dairies and ask him for the milk for the weekend's cheese, which he kindly donates for a shout out, which is fine. It's lovely. Great arrangement, personally. And he provides the pasteurized unhomogenized milk, which is really good for cheese making. I forgot, and by the time I decided to make cheese that weekend, it was Friday, and I thought, no, I won't inconvenience the bloke. That's just being rude and stretching the friendship a little bit too far. So I went to the supermarket. In fact, I went to every supermarket in town to try and find some unhomogenized milk, and unfortunately, no luck whatsoever. So I had to end up using pasteurized homogenized milk. It was good getting back to my roots and how bad it was. It really was. If you watch the first couple of videos, that's all I used. First couple. God, the first probably 10, 15. That's all I had. And, yeah, you'll see the curd set on most of those are fairly sloppy as well. Okay. Alex says, hey, Gavin, about uola. I don't know how to say that. I don't know how to make that. I'll have a look, see if I can find a recipe. There are so many cheeses in the world. It's from Spain. All right, I'll write that down, Alex, and I'll do some research. May pop up in a video sometime soon. Cora said, made some burrata the other day. It was delicious. Nice. I'm going to have to give it a go. Lice says, about charus, I have a recipe, but I don't feel experienced enough to make it. seeing it's calling for 2 gallons of milk. How should I adjust the culture? Send it to me in an email, Lice Dog. Just go to littlegreencheese.com and go to the Contact Me page, and you should be able to send me an email that way. You won't see the email address because I don't want spammers finding it. But yeah, there's a little contact form, so whack it in there and we'll have a chitty chat and see what we can do. Miss Moo, I think that's how you say it. Hey, Gavin, I have some cream cheese followed from your recipe being left overnight as we speak. You inspired me to try out cheese making. Well done, Miss Moo. Well done. Rue says, I read that some Swiss researchers found that when they played hip-hop music in the cave, the cheese had a better flavour and texture and won competitions. I'm experimenting with that. I read that too, Ruth, and I don't know how scientific it was. I saw all the cheeses lined up with the different speakers and stuff, and it was very cool. But yeah, I don't know. But it sounds interesting. I don't know. I don't like hip hop personally. But yeah, whatever makes the cheese taste better, I suppose. It's a bit like when you talk to your plants, they grow better, which apparently there is some scientific fact behind that. Okay, Jason. Oh, Dwayne says hello. G'day, Dwayne. Jason says, Miss Moo, I made some cream cheese this weekend too, and then a cheesecake from the cream cheese. It is very good. The homemade cream cheese is far superior than that rubbish you get that is known as Philadelphia cream cheese, which is processed cheese. It is not the real deal. Real cream cheese is amazing. And some people complain to me that say the flavour's too sharp. I said, well, that's reality. That's what it really tastes like. That's why it's so sharp. Anyway, Ricky Donna says, hello, Gavin and Kim. Hello, Ricky. Can you guys make sushi cheese a thing? Don't know about that. Sounds a bit weird. But it's a suggestion. Thank you, Ricky. Kenneth, Gavin, are there any issues that might crop up from using untreated well water? Does using different water sources add terroir in different cheeses or washed curds? Yeah, possibly. There could be all sorts of bacteria, well, good and bad, I don't know. But yeah, traditional cheesemakers use the water in their area, so whatever bacteria is in it, that's what you get. I don't know if there'd be any issues if the water, if you can drink it and you have no ill effects, then you can make cheese with it. There you go. Oh, that's what I'll say. I'm not a doctor. Manal, g'day. How are you, mate? Jay says, I'm in love with Saint Andre. I think that's how you say it. A triple cream brie type cheese. I've tried other triple creams and they're good. Would you please do a demo of a Saint Andre type triple brie? Let me see if Kim's put the link, but there is a triple cream brie, triple cream cheese video in the archive. Did she put it in there? No. Kim, can you just pop triple cream the link to the cripple cheese video for Jay? Kenneth says, so much stream delay. Yes, there is. It's not the delay with the stream per se, it's the delay with me and the questions. If you've got a burning question, then use Super Chat, like Ruth did, or a Streamlabs donation like Nicola did. Right, where am I up to? Unity says, love your vids, mate. Oh, g'day, mate. I've always gagged at blue cheese. Is it an acquired taste or is there something wrong with me? It is an acquired taste. I've found this is not proper research. This is hearsay. No, not hearsay. I've seen it. I found that smokers, people who smoke, tend not to like the taste of blue cheese. So this is just from people that I've met, and when they don't like blue cheese, I ask them the question: do you smoke cigarettes, tobacco? And most 9 times out of 10 they say yes. And I think Kim, correct me if I'm wrong, Kim, that Kim used to smoke many years ago, and then gave up when our first son was born, and never smoked since. She never used to like blue cheese either, and she was a smoker. So, yeah, it could be that, or maybe you've got an allergy to penicillium, which happens as well. Manel says, "Can I manage my may cave some cheeses that need 52 to 58, 56 Fahrenheit, but others need 42 to 45." Okay, so for those really low temperature ones, the 7-degree ones, you can put them in the normal kitchen fridge. I think you're talking about the white mold ripened ones. You can age them at their higher temperature, so around 52 Fahrenheit, first up until they get their bloom, and then you wrap them in the micro perforated cheese wrap, and then pop them into the kitchen fridge at 4 degrees Celsius, and they'll still develop. May take a little bit longer, but just press them every so often, every couple of days, to see how firm they are. If they start to go a bit soft, then you know they're ripening well. So, Manel, that's how you do that. Nicholas says, probably too late, but all my mold ripened cheeses ripen really slowly. I'd say it takes about 2 times the usual time before they get creamy, non-runny. What could be the problem? None. There isn't any problem. If it works out in the end, don't worry about the time it takes for your cheese to ripen. It's the result at the end that is what you're after. If it takes longer, no big deal. Really isn't a big deal, Nicola. I wouldn't worry about it personally. Just keep doing what you're doing. If you're getting good cheese out of it, then keep doing it. Okay, R999999 says, have you ever tried milk from specific breeds of cow? There is a herd of Jerseys in the village. They make ice cream from the milk. I wonder if certain cheeses work best with certain milk. Yeah, a lot of traditional cheeses throughout Europe have different breeds of cow that they make their cheese with, and it gives them the specific flavors for that cheese. Here in Australia, they use a lot of Holstein or not Jersey, Holstein and Friesian. It was the other name for them. I grew up on a dairy farm. I don't remember too many names, but Holstein and Friesian cows are the mainstay of the Australian dairy industry. They produce the most milk. That's why they use them. They have a fairly high fat content, but not as high as, say, Jersey cows, which are the brown cows you see. Brown cows, they're pretty cool. They actually have a higher fat content in the milk, slightly. And I have seen Jersey milk for sale, pure Jersey milk. Warrnambool cheese, milk and cheese, used to make it yonks ago. I don't know if they do now. They've been taken over by Fontina. I think they're Fontina. Not sure. Sorry if I got that wrong. But yeah, I used Jersey milk once to make a Vicino Romano, and it tasted amazing. Blew my mind because the fat content was so high. Jersey milk is really good for making white mold ripened cheeses, higher cream content. But there are lots of different breeds of cow, and they all do have various fat levels. Not as high as, say, goat, and then even sheep's milk is even higher, and buffalo milk's even higher than that. So I have used goat, sheep, which are variations, of course, on animals, and their milk is a lot creamier as well. Dwayne says, can you make goat milk fatter? Already have, and it's very cool. There should be a link. Kim's already done that. Paul has kindly donated $4.99, and there's another one. Oh my goodness me! That one's from Miss Saint G. I'll just turn the curd nerd lamp off there. Let's Don't know why I'm getting this. I'm not getting the star noises. There we go. We got 2 super chats at once. Paul, I'll get Paul first. Hang on, let's go. Paul says, will my cheese still get infections if I sanitize my cheese cave and ripen without a box? No other cheeses in the cave. Yeah, because there's always mold in the air, so you may. So just keep an eye on it. Won't be as bad as saying if you had blue and white mold cheeses or red mold cheeses in the fridge. So probably won't get as many, but keep an eye on it though. And Miss St. G says, hi Gav, love your videos. My sister and I are going to make some cream cheese soon, and I was wondering if homemade cream cheese is always sharp. We love super sharp cream cheese. It is. Depends on how long you hang it in the bag. Determines the sharpness of your cream cheese. So normally I stop the draining at about 18, it's between 16 and 18 hours, and it's fairly mild. It's got a bit of a tang. It's nice. I like it. If you hang it for about 24 hours, it goes drier, but a lot sharper as well. There's a lot more acid development from the lactic bacteria converting the lactose into acid. So, Miss St. G, hopefully that answers your question. Hang it longer in the bag. Okay, I'm way behind, and we've got 9 minutes to go. Drew Dastardly says, what's the smelliest washed rind cheese in the world? The smelly sock kind, I heard Limburger. We've got another super chat there. This one's from Jordan. Thank you, Jordan, for your $5 super chat. Appreciate it. I'll turn that light off. That's pretty cool. And no question, Jordan. Sorry about that. I would answer it if there was one. Where was I? Am I over the place? Smelliest cheese in the world, I heard Limburger. No, not true. There's a French cheese called, I think it's Epois. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It is. I think it's banned on buses in France. That's how smelly it is. Alex says, thanks. Thank you. Tom says, hey, Gavin, greetings from KY. You got me there. Don't know where KY is. Can you use water buffalo milk for other cheeses like cheddar, brie, besides mozzarella? They won't be true to type. They'll be a lot higher fat content. Possibly brie and camembert. They need a fairly high, and maybe even Stilton that I add cream to. Could be. You could use buffalo milk. But the flavour will be different as well. So just a few things to think about. Jason says, you could turn the lights off and use a flashlight and tell ghost cheese stories. Yeah, that's something I could do, but I'm not going to, Jason. David says, what's the dilution of the calcium chloride you prescribe in your recipes? How do you convert that to powdium calcium chlorine chloride? It's a 30% solution. So 30 grams of calcium chloride powder, which is also known as pickle crisp for those who do preserving. It firms up your pickles when you make them. So 30% powder to 100 milliliters of non-chlorinated water, and mix it up, and you've got yourself calcium chloride. So it's a 30% solution. Okay. Ruth says, hello, Chile. I don't know who she's referring to. I lived there briefly in 1980. That's how old I am. Still remember queso fresco. Sabroso. Cool. Craig says, whenever I make rapid mozzarella with really fresh milk, it always works. As soon as I use milk that is older, it ends in tears. That's a good suggestion, Craig. Use the freshest milk you possibly can. Ruth says, I'm not crazy about hip-hop either, but I'm trying it. Well done, Ruth. You try anything. Craig says, what do you think of Farmhouse Gold? It is unhomogenized. I've noticed the ingredients are cream. I wonder if they have any emulsifiers in the cream. It works okay with a quick mozzarella. Farmhouse Gold is a brand here in Australia by Paul's Milk. It has added cream. I've actually contacted them, and they add the cream to increase the fat content of the milk because it's mainly used for making coffee. And here in Australia, the espresso culture is crazy. So makes a wonderful flat white cappuccino, cafe latte, that sort of stuff. That's why they do it. It's not particularly for cheese making, Craig. I don't know if they use thickeners or anything like that in the cream. I used it once. It didn't set a curd very well. Anyway, we've got 5 minutes to go. Kim says, I can't find the triple one. Yeah, okay. Don't worry about it, Kim. It's in the archive. Go to the channel page. Whoever asked a question, I'm sorry I forgot. Oh, you found the double, Brie. Oh, sorry, maybe it was double, not triple. Maybe, sorry, Kim. Yes, that's the right link. Kim says, yep, that's right. Couldn't stand the taste of blue cheese when I smoked, but now I love it. She does. She loves the cheese. You know that canned blue that I made? Best blue cheese ever. Still got some in the cheese cave. Ripening. I've let it ripen for a long, long time. Starting to smell a bit now, but that's what blue cheeses do when they age for a long time. And it's going to be even bluer. So the canned blue, don't worry about the cam, it's just the blue bit. It was pretty cool. Creamiest blue cheese ever. Bloody lovely. Kevin says, what is triple cream cheese? Do you only make it with cream or does it have any milk in it? No, it's made with milk, and you increase the fat content of the cheese by adding more cream. It's kind of like a marketing ploy. Triple cream, you're just adding a little bit more cream than you would with a double brie or what have you. So, yeah, bit of a thing going on there. We have another super chat. Where are we? My lamp won't turn off. And it's from Miss St. G again. Another question, and then we have another one from Steady Trousers. My goodness, we've got 3 minutes to go. I'm very excited. Thank you, Miss St. G. Thanks for your $5 super chat. One other question from my amazing sister. Is there a reason why you always use wooden cutting boards instead of plastic or something else? Oh, goodness me, it's all going off. The sign's off now. I use wood because it's convenient. I mainly use bamboo because it's antibacterial, easy to clean, don't get infected as far as I know. Well, cheeses aren't infected. And I just like the feel and the tactile feel of the wood. Plastic gets scratches in it, usually, especially the crappy cheap plastic chopping boards I've seen. And they get scratches in them and they get molds that you can't get out. So yeah, it's a bit of a problem. Steady Trousers, $10 super chat. Thank you, Steady Trousers. Sir Gavinator, where do you get your unhomogenised milk in Australia? Coles and Woolies don't have it. Look, sometimes Woolies do have it. It's sold under it depends on which state you're in. Sold under the brand as Farmer's Own. It's okay. It works. Check out local dairy producers. So I get my unhomogenised milk here in Victoria, where I live, from Inglenook Dairy, and I probably mentioned them a few times, and they're in some of the videos. I actually did a video where I visited the dairy producer and showed kind of how they produce the milk. But yeah, there's a lot of independent dairy producers that do produce unhomogenised milk. Check out local health food shops, check out independent grocers, always a good place to look. Coles and Woolies don't care about cheese makers, honestly. They're there for the consumer, the average consumer, so you're going to really have to search around for unhomogenised milk. And maybe a good Google search, putting the name of your town or district in would help as well. You might get something up. A lot of the independent dairies do have web pages that you should be able to find their products on. Okay. Ruth says, thanks for the show, Kim and Gavin. Great as always. Help from, see you next time. Oh, thank you, Ruth. Appreciate it. Thanks for turning up. And Kim's giving me the wind up. Yeah, I'm way late. Sorry about no more questions. So if you want to visit the store to buy your stuff, then go to littlegreenworkshops.com.au, which we have. Let's go to the shop page and go to the. So there we are. There's my cheese making shop. See, home cheese making. I made this. And you can buy all your gear there. You can even buy some merch, which is cool as well. Goes through to Teespring automatically. Back to me. Where am I? Here we are. And you can support us by either hitting the join button below or go to patreon.com and you can join. And the merch link, you can go to teespring.com/store/cheesemantv. Or there's a t-shirt shelf, I think, below the video. So if you're after things like Blessed are the Cheesemakers or the Curd Nerd Cup with me on it and that sort of thing, then you can get all that over there. There's lots of t-shirt designs, some from the first book actually as well. Okay, well, that's a wrap. Thank you very much. Next week is episode 100, and we'll get a brief glimpse of Kim. She's going to pop in and say g'day. Hopefully we'll have some party decorations or something going on here, and the lights will stay on. This one tricky little thing, batteries run out. Anyway, have a fantastic day, and obviously without you guys turning up week on week, there wouldn't be a show, and I really do appreciate everybody who jumps into the chat and watches the live stream as well. And next week is my birthday show as well. I will be, goodness me, dare I say, 55 years old. I'm an old fart. Anyway, so yeah, my birthday's actually on the Thursday, but we'll be recording live streaming on the Wednesday. So it's my birthday show because we can. All right, see you next week, Curd Nerds. And until then, make the best cheese you can with the best ingredients you have. All right, see you later.